Tell me one thing that AI still can't do that humans are irreplaceable in gaming.
Money is involved, so obviously whenever there is money involved, there is a chances more manipulation and fraudulent activities could also take place. So world is divided in three categories: black, white, and gray. In the betting side, white is like
What is the hardest truth about esports that you wish more founders should say out loud but don't?
know their community well.
Do you also play games often or no?
I don't play, to be honest. Like a lot of people ask me, Parshavv, if you're not a gamer, how can you build a gaming company? I said, fine, if I'm not a doctor, so nobody should build a hospital then. Only doctors should build a hospital. It's not the thing.
A book or a creator you would recommend to the grinders listening right now in esports or any other thing if they're building right now as a founder?
They are already listening to me.
So what's up everyone? Welcome back to Breakout Podcast, the podcast where we bring you the raw, real and unfiltered stories from founders and investors who are already in the trenches building the future. I am your host, Darshil Khunt, and yeah, I am a two-time founders, Sager and FlashPay, but didn't make it. But you know what? Those failures taught me more than my MBA ever could. And that's exactly why I started this podcast, to learn from people who have been through the fire and came out from the other side with something real. Today's guest, we are just talking to someone who walked away from the big four, KPMG, Deloitte, where we could have a comfortable career as a chartered accountant with a law degree. But instead of climbing the corporate ladder, he jumped into one of the most misunderstood industries on the planet, esports and Web3. Meet Parshavv Om Jain, also known as Esports Bond. He's a serial entrepreneur with 2 successful exits under his belt, and now he's building Espotz.live, a platform that's trying to do something no one is really doing. Esports for the 600 million competitive gamers who aren't LeBron James, the one grinding in the rooms in Mumbai, Manila, or Mexico City and dreams of making it. But here is what makes this conversation different. Parshavv isn't just building a tournament platform. He is using blockchain for instant payout, AI for fraud prevention, and he's creating an entire ecosystem where fans can stake on players, organization can run clean tournaments, and when everyone can get paid instantly. And recently, he packed up his life and moved to Canada to scale his vision globally. So whether you are an aspiring founder, if you quit your job, a gamer if you felt like system wasn't built for you, or an investor trying to figure out if esports is a gold mine or a gamble, this episode is for you. Let's break out. Parshavv, welcome to Breakout Podcast.
Thanks, Darshil. Thanks for the introduction. And I think like it seems like you have covered everything, and we should like switch off the cameras now. The podcast is over.
First thing first, where are we catching you from today? Canada, India, or somewhere in between a plane? You're traveling.
Last month I was traveling to Dubai and India for a short trip for business, meeting my team. So my team is still in India. I'm based out of Oakville, Canada. So as you mentioned, like by profession, I'm a chartered accountant and a lawyer. Have a good career at Big Four way back. Started my journey in 2006 with Deloitte, then moved to KPMG corporate in 2013, and then was doing fractional CFO consulting, but never wanted to build that very strongly. And because inside something, like I was always been, okay, chhat ke karna hai. Something needs to be like, we need to do something differently, because like it's tough to create wealth. Like there are like few successful consultants who have built successful career, but there's always a limit. Like you can grow up to 100, 200, 300, 500 people team, but not beyond that. And like maybe within one country or 5 countries. But if you want to create a global impact, so entrepreneurship was the major thing. And I always wanted to build something which is, so I'm more of a creator, innovator, sort of a creative mindset instead of like running in the same rat race. And that's why like I came out of the corporate. I didn't want to pursue my regular consulting. So that's where like I keep on searching what could be done. So I figured out, like, because I mentioned, so I was more of a creator person. So I thought after this thing, Roti, Kapda and Makan, it's the entertainment where people keep on spending. So that's where I thought entertainment industry will never die. Okay. And, but I was not having a good voice or would never learn any music instrument. So I was not in that zone. So I thought it's build a gaming company. That was the thing, how it started with gaming. So I was on a road trip with my friend. So we were just playing 8-ball pool on his tab. I thought, okay, this could be like really interesting. And he was showing like people have those statistics, and I was being connected. Like, obviously, those were bots. Okay, like I was connected with some random person from Australia and some other part of the world. So it was giving good experience. And like, I thought, like, why not? Like, then people can build a career out of this as well. Why only restricted? Why that name and fame is only for the sports people? Why not? It should be reached to esports as well, or gaming. I was not knowing the name esports per se. I was like, okay, like in gaming also, people gamers should be able to. So when I started doing research on that industry, then got to know like there is a esports industry, there is AAA titles, streaming happens of those matches. So a lot of learning curve was there, because in Big Four I was only working with telecom companies, big manufacturing companies, traditional Fortune 500 companies. Never got a chance to interact with gaming or gamers, even like while studying, like pursuing my career. So I was like doing CA and law degree together. So never got a chance to see here and there, and like always focus or determined to education side. Yeah.
That's actually, I loved it because, as you said, entertainment is one of the top where people spend outside their basic needs, and that was the reason IPL have started in India as well, because they attach the celebrity with the entertainment, right? So they can combine all three at once, where the cricket, entertainment, and the celebrities comes everything at one place under 3 hours, right? And as you said, that esports is something like very interesting for you to build out right now, because even when I was in my grade 10 or 11, rather than playing the game, I was actually more excited to see the people playing the game, right? So my friend plays the game and I was interested to watch it, but at that time I didn't know that could exist as an idea, right? Where some experienced player or expert players plays and you can
Yeah.
watch a game as well from their side.
Yeah.
So okay, let's rewind the tape, where you were an chartered accountant, right? Which for anyone who doesn't know, that's not easy to become it. And you also got an LLB and MBA, and you're working at a KPMG and Deloitte, right? That's dream for most of the people in India right now as well. Very
Absolutely.
stable, prestigious, great money. But somewhere along the way, you said, no, I am out of this and I'm going to build a esports company. Or take me a moment where it was a catalyst or a specific event or a person that you decide that I cannot do anymore. And now I want to switch from job or to as a creator or builder.
Okay, so I think like before that, then I need to go back a little bit more. So my father used to work with the Tata Group of Industries. So, but he has to like that's one odd day the management decided to shut down that plant where he was working. So it was a shock for all of us. And I think I believe I was just in grade 10th or 11th. So I thought that's it's really bad. If companies like Tata can do, you can say voluntary retirement, but it was actually a compulsory, because like it was just shut down. Yeah, so that time only I decided that I need to finish. I need to do something of my own, because even like the companies like Tata's, who are the like one of the employee friendly company known in the world. So even if they can shut down the company or do something, so it's not a stable life then even in job. So that was the one main reason why I started building. I thought to become an entrepreneur or do something of my own. I was not coming from lower middle ground. I was not knowing a even term called entrepreneurship. So it was okay, like need to do something of my own. Like, and then I started pursuing CA, and because that was one of the to be known as like cheapest course. Like you don't have to pay a lot of tuition fee, and it's one of the like very affordable degree to do. So that's how I started doing CA. So completed my CA, and along with that, I also had the interest in law side. So started doing that, and that was the main reason. Like I became a CA because there was so much of rush. So I became a CA at the age of 21 only. Started working with, because I need to bring food on the table now, because like dad was not into job, and all his saving was getting eroded. So that's how I, unfortunately, I need to give up my the dream of to become or starting my own practice, because there was a gestation period to build something. So I thought, okay, like then let's get into a job, have a like a instant gratification. At least at the end of the month, I will get my paycheck. So that's how I started my career with Deloitte, then moved to KPMG. Then once I was a bit stable, and then started my career, even like I started with network marketing, and that too, and I don't know what was network marketing. Again, need to do something. And because
True.
obviously You have your family, you have your liabilities. You can't switch or leave your corporate job like that. And because to build anything, it needs persistence, consistency, and it there is a gestation period. So it's been said like overnight success is not overnight. It's like 14, 15 years of hard works, and it's for few people it could be more even. So that's a background.
That's completely amazing. Like it's always hard, right? You have to put the priorities first.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the 14 year of overnight success. Like that's a real story right there. And you said like sports is not just fun, right? It's a pain, pressure, practice, 10 hours of a day, no holidays, no mercy. How did that mindset actually forms you, and how does it show up? How you lead your team today at esports?
Yeah, so I think to be an entrepreneur and to do something of your own, to build something meaningful, you need to be passionate. You can't, if it is just for money, you can make money other ways as well. Yes, you can't be billionaire or something like that, but yeah, millionaires in today's time, you can be millionaire even by staying in job. So it's not a big deal. But if you want to actually create some impactful, meaningful thing, you need to be like really passionate. You need to think what's actually a problem you're solving. Is it like really close to your heart? Is it some impact? Then only you can build a startup. And for that, then you just give up on everything. People might be again like even while doing my CA degree, like people will my other friends who are not doing they were doing like regular party weekends outings, and I was like morning 6 a.m. to midnight, like I'm just like either on coachings, trainings, and doing the like studies. So and same grit was required to build a business as well.
As you said that that's very intense and honest, like because it shows like how you operate as a founders or in the other phase of your life, because that's how it works. Like if you definitely want to make a dent in anything, or if you want to make a really valuable or a huge impact in the industry, you need to work for it, right? Because there will be no work life balance based on that. And you also talked a lot about an energy management over the time management, and which I find it very fascinating. So what was that actual routine or boundaries that help you protect that energy during that crazy building phase as a founder? Because lots of founder do burnout as well, right? So how did you manage your energy management over the time management?
I believe like sometimes a little bit of meditation and you can say a workout is like really helpful to retain those energies and to give your best. So maybe just like 15, 20 minutes of me time, 30 minutes of me time. I think that gives me a daily booster dose. And by any chance, if I'm traveling and if I don't get that time, so I start feeling that in 7, 8 days, okay, my energy is going down. I need to switch off, shut down everything, and get that like into that zone. So yes, I think workout or some physical activity or playing sports. So I was into very much in sports like playing cricket or boxing. So that gives me a lot of energy to do it. And again, when your end goal is to create something meaningful, it's by default, and that you don't see even like when I interview my any new hires. Okay, I ask them, if you want to work with me, there should be a sticker on the time where it's mentioned on the laptop at the right bottom. You can't see time if you're working.
Love that, love that. Straight to the point, even in the interviews, right?
It's easy to manage the expectation. I don't want
True.
to like waste his time or my time. And okay, that's the expectation. Yeah, I might be after listening to this, people might be giving back to me. It's not the work life balance for me. Work life balance is even when it is required to go out, even during my business hours. That freedom is work life balance for me. If it is like if I have that freedom, my team, if they need to take their parents to hospital or to a doctor visit or do something, they are free. I don't do that time management. But yes, it's like everybody have that 24 hours. Okay, if 8 hours of work and 8 hours of sleep, what do you do in that balance 8 hours? That defines you.
That's a very straightforward, like freedom as a balance, not just ours, right?
Yes.
So very upfront about the expectation in the front, so we don't regret later either with the employees or with the investors. And that's what the people look is in a founder, right? They grind it and they make something happen over a long period of time, and putting so much of hours and iterating it and making it building successful. And also you have done 2 time exit, right? So that's not just something everyone has made. That's a very real thing to build. And you have built and sold those both two companies. Most founder don't even get to one exit, right? So I'm not going to ask about the dollar amount or the name if you can't share, but I want to the lesson that nobody talks about. What was that one non-obvious thing you learned from that building that last couple of startup, or one thing you've learned that help you in building this startup as well?
So I think couple of things which was there. So in you need to know when to pull the plug. Okay, you need to know your stop loss. So maybe so giving that exit, for example. So we were building a company similar to PhonePe in India. It was more of a super app concept. So we built the product. However, like it was difficult to raise funds because obviously PhonePe was coming out of Flipkart, getting the user base already. So that was a big challenge for us, and that was like more of a then we raised some amount and then we gave that exit. We sold out to a company who is into co-works, and that time only we were building all those AI things, like so that the app should talk to each other. So if I'm flight ticket, so automatically it will give a notification, okay, that much you can say wait time, you need to reach to airport before 2 hours, and from your location this much is the distance of 1 hour of drive to airport. Ola should give you a notification that yes, you have already a flight, why don't you book a cab? And after reaching, when you have at that destination, okay, you need to book a hotel. So all those itinerary like was done using AI at even in 2017 when we were building that startup. Even like if I'm cult member, so that will give my notification, okay, this is the nearest call center, and like you should go to that wherever you are staying. So that all those features we built, and then we sold it to co-works in India, which was like a large real estate corporate tech park company who have multiple corporate tech parks. So they wanted to use it for their captive consumption because, and they have some big plans where like on airports you would have seen Ola stands and Uber stands. So in all those corporate parks, they wanted to build those stands, kiosks for big basket, so that like for just employee friendliness, like people can buy the groceries on the move while waiting for the cab. So all those like small booths they were wanted to build along with e-commerce. They can book their groceries before they were coming out from the work. So all those things they wanted to build. So that's the journey. We knew okay, it's tough to compete against PhonePe or Flipkart. So it's better like you need to know your stop loss.
That was, I think, very super and quite ahead of its time, because basically predicting UX before it was like very
Yeah.
mainstream, and that's very crazy. Like you were basically building an ecosystem that talked to itself in a way before super apps become a buzzword as well. So that's a very smart buyer fit and real synergy there, right?
And in India, it's a toughest thing. It's tough to get the loyal customers.
That was a very smart buyer fit, like where they are spending their time and how they can manage it ahead of everything,
Yeah.
right? So that's what quite a strategic way where they can get their things out. You were also at Zoth.io before this, right? And full time before you moved to advisory to focus on Esports.live. What carried you forward from Zoth to growth and capital markets into something you are building at esports?
So as I mentioned, entertainment gaming was a very big passion for me, and I always like that's like really close to my heart. Whenever so whatever exit amount I got, I invested in the gaming company again in esports. So that's always been a passion. And in between, I got an opportunity to be a founding member for Zot. So that is into Web3. That gave me the exposure of Web and DeFi building up. So I was helping them in all the operations, partnerships, alliances, setting up their fund structure, using my legal knowledge, financial knowledge to do due diligence. So we were using the on-chain capital, giving them yield. And on the other side, we were doing the due diligence on SMEs based out of UAE, Latin America, Singapore, to give them revenue-backed financing or invoice factoring, you can say. So we were managing all those things at Zot. So that them a platform with where they can scale it up further. I thought, okay, now it's again time to build your go back to your passion.
That's a real commitment as a founder, I think, because putting your own money, exit money, back into the space you love, right? So it's quite hard because most people think, or most founders think, let's raise the money as I've already given an exit. Let's go to the investor, raise some pre-seed round, and then start building it, right?
I keep getting that those stories. Okay, Parshavv, like you have taken the exit, you should have sold yourself in a better way. Your stories should be very much inspirational to the investors. But I wanted to build like a real product and a real company, build a legacy. to be honest. Even now, say for example, if there is a interest and investor asks, okay, after 3 years I want an exit, and will you be able to open for acquisition with my existing investee company, a portfolio company? I said no, like that's not going to happen. I'm building this for a like generations, so not a like a quick exit or just make money and then sit on a beach.
That's quite very rare these days, because most founders chase valuation, not validation. So putting your own money also shows investor that okay, this is something you're really interested to build, not just an exited founder says that okay, let's try this idea. I already started one company, right? So people do that. What was the best question an investor advisor ever asked you before completing or changing your roadmap for building the esports, right?
When I joined Zot also, when I joined the hands with them, so they were knowing, like I told them, like whenever like I gave them 2.5 years, give them that platform and then okay, like move out. Even with that exit, there was a condition to stay with the company as a for a couple of years as a lock-in. I said no, like I can't be in that zone. I need to. I'm like whenever I'm getting into any agreement or something, I know what my needs are. If I can fill if those are fulfilled, then only I get into any agreement. For example, a
What
lot of people ask for exclusivity. Who knows whether you will be existing or not after like 1 year? What exclusivity you are looking for? Yeah, if we work together, build together, strong partnership. Yeah, we can think, but on day one, no. Sorry.
Definitely. I got it from your point of view that rather than going into an exclusive partnership, it stay with your freedom. If something is genuinely interesting to you, then you can go down
Yeah,
deeper about
because
it,
if,
right?
if it is exclusive, then like again, I'll say job is better. At least you have less stress.
Let's get into the meat of the esports live. You're targeting the next 99%, right? Those 600 million competitive players who aren't in the franchise leagues or who are just grinding. Paint me a picture where which are the two biggest pain points you are solving for these players or organizers, and why anyone hasn't fixed it yet.
So as of now, what's happening in the industry? Only 1% of top tier one teams or leagues, elite. So they only have the access to the brands and sponsorship. Rest everybody is grinding, and I've seen like this is my second inning in esports and gaming. Prior to COVID, also we were building a gaming company and esports where we were developing our own multiplayer games. We were carrying out tournaments. That gave us a lot of insights because then we realized okay, everybody's going through the same pain. They are not able to monetize their skill set, they are not able to build their career. People come start in some excitement, but they vanish. And industry to grow as an industry, so within gaming is like really massive. Like people say it's put together Hollywood and music industry, it's bigger. Gaming industry is bigger than, but esports is very small. The reason which I feel, because everybody in the ecosystem is not making money. There is like a lot of controlled environment is there in the industry, and that's the reason we found okay, like because if everybody is not making money in the value chain, it will break down. And again, new people will come, they will start again. After 6 months they will burn, they will go back into corporate jobs or do something else. So it's a like a really big challenge the industry is facing. So I was thinking okay, what could be the alternate? Because brands, from the brand perspective also, I'm not saying like they are wrong, because obviously if I'm investing as a brand, so I want ROI. What's my visible viewership is, what my brand value or some like reach outs will be there, who is my target audience. So that doesn't define in the esports for the smaller tournaments or underdog teams. So there has to be some alternates. For example, Airbnb, when we are traveling, we knew okay, there are hotels are existing, but Airbnb changed the rules. And if I have a homeowner, I have a spare basement. I was not knowing that I can make money out of that till the Airbnb came. So there has to be some alternates in the industry. And we figured out okay, people can start betting on those matches, or there could be the fans who can donate in the prize pools, so that like that prize pool gets keep on increasing. There are like in the industry again, like we did a survey, 67% people say that they are not able to engage with their favorite teams and players,
Mm.
because they it's just like watching match on a YouTube or Twitch. It doesn't give them any sense of belongingness.
No
And so there was no interaction. And as a fan player, as a player or a influencer, I will also say okay, like everybody will keep on saying I'm your biggest fan. How do I find out he's my biggest fan? for players, a lot of challenges were there. For example, not very authentic tournaments were happening. They were not able to find which tournaments are going well. People were paying participation fees. Tournament operator will goes away. They will run away with the money. Small, though it might be small, but like it's keep on happening. And there was no mechanism where, as a player, I can file a complaint, where I can give a rating or review to the tournament operator. And even if it was paid, tournament got carried out, there is a delay in prize pool distribution, almost like 30 to 90 days of delay in the prize pool. So we came out that, and hence now we are using this blockchain as a technology, which is quite different, because like otherwise, like people think of only Web3 as a token launch. So
Yes.
we are actually using blockchain as a technology to solve the real problems. So now all the contribution to the prize pool, all the participation fees, it goes in a smart contracts, get logged over there, and as soon as the score is updated, it gets paid out immediately. So there is no friction now, and using stable coins, it gives the global platform. So for example, a person carrying out a tournament in Thailand or Vietnam, the player from even Vietnam can play. Otherwise, say for example, if there is a tournament happening in Thai baht, a person from Indonesia or Philippines will not be interested in participating in those matches. So this gives a global exposure. And as you said, like why other companies were not solving this. So I believe like they were solving, again, that passion. I've used the word initially. If you want to create a real impact, you need to think from your stakeholders perspective, from the user perspective. They created a technology solution, wonderful, no match with. It's a very good technology they have built to host the tournament. But beyond that, like the but major problem which those guys were facing was getting the sponsorships, getting the monetization for their tournaments. So that's the problem which, like, I think like nobody was thinking from that perspective. And that's where we thought so that's where that our business model is very simple. People contribute, the fans will contribute to the pools, it gets logged. Tournament operator gets say 5-10%, we charge 5% as a platform fee, and rest everything gets contributed. 100 people are contributing $10, so the pool is $1,000. If 200 people are contributing, so it will be $2,000. The prize pool keeps on increasing, and the players get some money. And that's where like we are leveraging this opportunity with the ban as well in India, which came.
Gaming industry is also quite very massive, and esports is just like still on the surface of scratching the things out. And as you mentioned, that esports stands out as an instant payout, gives an instant trust to the fans as well, that turns followers into the fans or the creators they love as well.
Correct.
Let's talk about the blockchain, because I have to be honest, because there will be people who hear that Web3 and blockchain and then they roll their eyes, because there is all that hype, all that scam you have heard about, all the things. So let me help me understand, like, why blockchain here specifically? Where did add that it is undeniable value to the user, or it should, what will be the esports live without the blockchain?
As I mentioned, that instant payout payment system, because the money is controlled by the platform, and that's also open smart contracts. Anybody can view and verify it on the hash. So there is like complete transparency. Otherwise, like people don't know if the payouts were happening or not happening. We also introduced a rating review system. So even a tournament operator who is so all only people who are participating can only rate and review. So all those things can be verified on chain. Otherwise, it's like you can't buy the fake reviews, like Google reviews. People do it. It's just like not possible on blockchain as well. So that's the main reason why we introduced blockchain as a technology in this business. People should be able to trust the platform. Okay, like if they are putting money in the platform, they are going to get back, or like for the purpose it will be utilized. It's like more of a trusty fiduciary services which a platform is providing.
Got it. Because trust and transparency piece plays a very huge role in this industry or any sectors. But I think that's very quite important from the point of view from both of the sides as well.
Correct.
Let's talk about the dark side, about the esports, the real problem like smurfing or match fixing or manipulation or payout abuse. Like, how do you prevent bad actors gaming the system? What role does the AI plays versus the human role?
So it's like a valid question, and we face those challenges obviously. So over here, what we believe is I need to be true as a player. I need to be true, or as a team, correct? Like I need to be true to my fans. So it will be wrong on my part if I'm playing wrong or if I'm misleading my fans, because they are trusting me. They are contributing because I'm playing to win. They want to support me. If I'm doing match fixing, so I will lose that trust and credibility. And that's where we introduced that rating review system in the ecosystem.
That's quite fair, because like fans are basically your shareholder in this
Yeah.
model, right?
So
System wise,
if Michael Jordan plays a bad game, it's his reputation, it's his stake, and he will lose his customer.
that's fan are basically the shareholder in this model, and that's they have to quite maintain their profiles as well, because they are the
Correct.
one who their fans their follows as well. Let's talk about the traction. And look, you might not able to share about this, but what adoption signal you are mostly proud of right now? Or is it the number of operator you have onboarded, or the tournament volume, or payout speed, or repeat organizations in that area?
So there are like good amount of interest which is coming from even from India, Indonesia, because these are the countries which are very emerging and adaptive to both stable coins as a technology and also uh, esports as a gaming. There are like huge population. Obviously, a lot of gamers are there, and a lot of organizers who are coming and hosting tournaments again and again, because obviously the rules are getting changed through Esports.live. People can make money for themselves. So it's like a flywheel which gets created. Why players are not playing many matches? Because tournament operator doesn't have that budget. Now, if and fans, they don't have the place to engage anything. Now it's the complete flywheel. So more tournaments gets created, more fan engagement, more probability for the players to win the matches and participate, and fans get an opportunity to interact. Out of that contributions, the tournament operators gets 5 to 10% as a you can say commission, and that's where there is a stickiness, and that's where they have the incentive to come back and host the tournament on our platform, making them as part of our ecosystem or stakeholders, where we are sharing our set of profits with them.
That's awesome, because India, Indonesia, and Philippines are absolutely the powerhouse for gaming. Because I've lived in Philippines as well, so each corner there is a gaming cafe where people or students goes out and spend 12
Yeah,
hours, 15
we
hours
recently
a day.
expanded to Nigeria as well. So hired a business development person in Nigeria as well. Got to know like FIFA is really crazy. People play a lot of FIFA games in
What titles are proving the strongest beachheads? Like, what are you seeing the most organic traction? BGMI, Free Fires, FIFA,
Yeah,
or
so
something
more of a
else?
mobile gamers, because obviously these are like emerging countries. People can't afford like high grade PCs to play PC games. So still a lot of attraction which we are getting on mobile games like FIFA, PUBG, BGMI, Call of Duty. Yeah.
The cafe culture also there is quite insane in these countries, right?
Big, yeah.
It's like the very big market in, specifically not in India. They always have their personal gaming setup, but in other countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, Nigeria, or in Philippines, it's a quite huge market, the
But
cafe
even for the
culture.
investors also, that becomes another for brands or investors. PC, the user base is very less, but the volume gets high, like the in monetary terms. At initial level, so we are also focusing more on mobile games because that gives us a lot of crowd. Because Valorant will give me like say maybe 64 teams. In BGMI, I get 200 teams. So that's the difference.
Because I do think that you should contact cafe owners and work out with them. They can organize a tournament that will be quite be helpful for these
Yes, there is a very
markets.
good use case for gaming cafes. So what's happening is, for example, people only in say maybe 5 to 10 miles of vicinity will come and visit, and these gaming cafes are popular within their vicinity. Now, if using our platform, they can host tournaments across the country and arrange a online tournament format, and then bring the say for example winners of every week in their cafe, and they can host a big tournament for them in their cafe. So that will give them more visibility and promotion as well.
Definitely. As the cafe culture is also huge, they can interact with each other in that same
Yeah,
area.
so there's a potential of every cafe becoming a club in themselves. So a best team from each cafe participate in those tournaments. So that's the thing which we are looking forward to it.
It's like a new ground for them to play. So
So they
last
can like
thing,
sponsor a team. Okay, this is my best team. They are going to play.
and that can also increase their revenue as well. Okay, I want to go
Absolutely
to this specific cafe because these are the kind of players they are playing there right now. I can compete with them.
correct.
and compliance, AML, KYC, and there is a very regional payout rules for every different sectors in every countries, right? How do you handle while still moving fast, or what is actually live right now, or what is actually on the roadmap on the for the building part?
Great question. Obviously, like this, I get keep on hearing. So my legal knowledge or my legal mindset comes into now play. So world is divided in three categories: black, white, and gray. Okay, in the betting side, white is like there are like countries like US, Canada, Australia, Germany, France. They have their online gaming licensing regime. So you need, if you want to operate in these jurisdiction, you need to take a license from that country and then operate. Then there is a black like India who have recently banned everything. That there are like obviously sanctioned nations you can't operate. So apart from that, again, world have another 150 countries which is gray market where you can still operate and start the business. So that's where we are targeting to start the traction. And once we have that scale, when we have maybe a requirement, so we start taking license from other jurisdiction like in UK or US or Canada.
Yeah, definitely. I was waiting for that legal part. So let's talk about the competition. Like before, because you're not only in this space, right? You got Battlefly, Challenger mode for tournament infrastructure. You got community gaming, Matcherino doing instant payout, Fandimi and other doing prediction.
Yep.
Kisswise and likewise building interactive streaming place. So where is that white space you are building right now, or what you are doing they cannot do or they won't do, building it?
Again, the user base is so much, like there is always scope, like banks, like there's Goldman, there is JP Morgan, still there are hundreds of different banks. So obviously, if it's not Amazon or Walmart, still there is like a lot of potential. The consumer base, as I mentioned, people spend on entertainment, keep on spending. The last 30 years was for sports betting, next 30 years is for esports industry, so undeniably. So there is a lot of scope for multiple operators or multiple platforms. But how we are differentiating, at least as on date, obviously people will, as Mark Zuckerberg, copy shamelessly. Like if it is a story feature was good with Snapchat, copy it. Like you don't hold IP. So if today I'm doing anything good and for the industry, and if it is for the benefit of the industry, like Elon Musk have kept his patents open source. So that's what like we believe. So if I'm doing anything like with a good heart, and if it is beneficial for the industry, I want like everybody should adopt that feature. But yes, obviously the world is huge, so there is a lot of potential. And ultimately it's all about like you need to be obsessed with your customer. You need to be like how solving their problems and stay innovative.
That's true. There is a room for thousands or even hundreds of players, winners in this market of this size. And
Easily. Because see, for example, like a lot of people think, okay, they will build a platform just for Southeast Asia market, for Korea, and they don't think from going from, say, for example, Battlefire. They're just like focusing only in European region. So they don't focus, okay, like obviously Africa is or Southeast Asia, they don't pay much, they can't afford it. So there is always, so there was some time back, I think Snapchat founder or somebody put a comment, okay, India is not a good market, they don't pay. Fine, like who cares? Like for us, it's like like as I mentioned, everybody should make money in the ecosystem. That's what my like the vision is.
every industry or different region have the different mindset which
Yeah.
keep the ecosystem alive, right? And that's how they operate in different ecosystem or different regions, right?
Yeah.
So
And on our platform, the other differentiators are, for example, a lot of time when people host the tournament, again, the challenge is the tournament operator have to spend a lot of amount on marketing to get the teams for their tournament. Now,
yes,
on existing platforms, there is no such options which are available. They have to create the GFX, etc. So we are using AI to build that GFX instantly. So as soon as they create a tournament, the GFX gets created, which they can post directly on Instagram. Then on the marketing side, they don't even have to do any marketing. So for example, if you are carrying out a BGMI tournament today, you just host it without marketing. You will get your tournament will be filled up with the teams. So all the notification goes to the existing users, which nobody, they just don't want to open up the ecosystem to the public at large. So they are like existing platforms, like with due respect, like they are thinking more for their valuation, more for their users, etc., for their numbers.
that's like they have kept a very closed loop. They have quite open up for the
Yeah.
ecosystem as
So I'm
well.
saying like, fine, like, why should I spend? There's already tournament operator is burning a lot. Okay, the people are like not able to sustain. How do I make their life simple? So that's where I think like customer obsessed mindset is required.
And you also teased this topic publicly. Esports investment, either goldmine or either gamble. You have been in the trenches now. You have seen the hype, you have seen the money flowing in, teams shutting down, publishers pulling out the support. What is that one truth you have arrived at, or is this real industry, or is still like building up or growing up?
I believe it's still building up and growing up, and like a lot of even like elite teams, their valuation has cut down because you can't stay on high forever. You need to like at the end of the day, everybody will ask the ROI. Even say for example, if they are going for big sponsorships, ultimately are they bringing back on the table? So like in everybody will ask if I'm investing something, I should get 10x like in returns. So all those things are getting more visible now. People are asking for more ROI driven things, more legit business model rather than just focusing on hype.
That's quite fair because like still early, but the fundamental has been formed and it will keep going as well.
Yeah.
Players are getting like well, like the sponsorship still dominate the esports revenue, like 94% according to some of the reports. But that's not quite sustainable, right? Over the period of time, what recurring or direct to fan monetization unlock actually matters over the next 24 months, or what actually can change the game?
Obviously, see, it has, you need to build it for the community. Like this, we say this platform is by the community for the community. So it's just like the everything is community driven, decentralized. People come participate. They have the more fan engagement. We are building up a gamified social media platform as well on the platform. So as I interact more and more with them, with the influencer, with my favorite team, I get a chance to get into their inner circle. Now, as a influencer, as a I have that option and opportunity to interact with my fans, keep a meet and greet session, a tournament for them. So a lot of fan engagement activity and tools which we are building it up on the platform
Yeah,
that keeps them active.
yeah, totally. Because if you are not just building for the fans, you are just renting out the attention, right? And that's
Yeah.
quite interesting that turning fandom into the access is quite smart. But with that level of engagement, burnout become real for the gamers as well. What is your responsibility as a platform to support well-being and sustainable competition for the gamers?
As I mentioned, so we just want to build a most transparent ecosystem where they feel a safe environment, where they know, okay, if I participate in the matches, I have a option of getting the sponsorship. Even if I'm getting a 5-star rating for my few tournaments, okay, I can start talking to brands for sponsoring these tournaments. If we find a good tournament operator who is consistent, who is getting best rating and review like that, we are going to provide them opportunities for brand sponsorship apart from other tools as well. So a lot of things are hidden in the platform which keeps on getting unlocked slowly, gradually once we start getting into the maturity session.
That's great pivot because players' well-being is also the next real
Yeah.
mode as a thing, and that's smart. Like turning the rating into sponsorship pipeline is a real instant. All right, so let's dive in. So AI is everywhere now, right? In training, in broadcast, in analytics. Give me one concentrated way where AI will change the fan experience in 2026 streams. What they are doing, and tell me one thing that AI still can't do that humans are irreplaceable in gaming.
AI is playing an important role, especially on our platform. For example, there's a lot of time because money is involved. So obviously, whenever there is money involved, there is a chances more manipulation and fraudulent activities could also take place. So how we are using AI on our platform is, so normally as soon as the tournament operator uploads the scores, the prize pool gets released, the betting pools get released. So a lot of it could be like a big opportunity, I will say, for operators that they can put a wrong result and it gets the prize pool goes to a wrong team. Suppose we both are playing and like because tournament operator likes me, he said, okay, Parshavv won the match. But actually,
Yeah.
you won the match. You should have got the prize pool. So what we are doing, like we are creating these AI bots who will automatically watch the entire match on YouTube and Twitch and capture the moments, and that will automatically update the score. So we want to take away that control from the operator and give it to the automation, so that like there is no chance of manipulation or any fraudulent activity which can take place. So that's the use case which we are doing. Also, people can do training or coaching in esports also. Like, so as per their match, as per their rank, they can have a AI bot with whom they can play, practice, and then keep their rank high on the other things. So
Perfect.
that coaching that captures the movement. Okay, like they will tell, the coach will tell, okay, your this move was wrong, you should have done this, you should have done that. So those insights, these players will start getting it.
That's quite wild because AI literally can becoming a referee now, right?
Yes, yes.
Feels like the game is getting in their own watchdog thing, right? So
Uh,
when you automate a fairness like that, right? So what happens to that human side of competition, like the emotions, the disputes, the storytelling? Does removing bias also remove some of the drama that keeps the esports very exciting from now?
no, I think like people or players actually looking for a fair and transparent more than anything else, because in existing platforms, it's already missing out. Like they are already facing this challenge. So, for example, these players were paying participation fees to participate in the tournament. The tournament operator was taking money and going away. So there's a lot of challenges. But obviously, like even if there is a AI, so we still have a dispute mechanism where somebody can raise the dispute as well. And if somebody have raised the dispute, so the distribution, price pool distribution, will be on hold till the time that dispute is not resolved again. So that way we have that human intervention as well, like the way you asked, like which elements you are not passing on to the AI. So AI first level, definitely they will keep the score check, but however, if there is a dispute, still there will be a manual intervention which will see whether the bot has done the right job or not.
That completely makes sense as well because at the end of the day, fairness always beat flair things, right? So zooming out a bit, if Sports Live nails this vision, paint me a 5 year picture. Like what does 2030 looks like, where you have won, or what are your product or community economic impact that can be built with esports?
So we just want, like, out of, if I'm able to change the life of even like 10% of these 600 million people who are still looking for opportunities, they are not able to monetize or they are not able to build career. So I want to take that threshold to at least 5 to 10% of the people who should start making their career in esports more aggressively. So that's my vision, like to achieve in next 4 to 5 years, where they believe they can find out, yes, they can have a solid career in esports. It's just not restricted only for the elite teams and big organizers.
That's something interesting as well because day by day, more adults also are going into the gaming industry. They do a stream, they are earning money now. That is becoming a professional as well, right? It's not just a teenager that is grinding, but like grown ups are also logging into the gaming industry. They're making up their sets, right? So, what is driving that shift? Like, is it nostalgia for people who are coming for esports, or it is a new income opportunities for them? Or it is just a game that finally that has been seen by as a career path for people?
So my goal is that everybody in the ecosystem industry should make some money. That's how the industry can grow. If everybody is not making money, if only it's like, if only one person is making money, that's not going to serve the purpose. The point is, it's an alternative stream of revenue, or beyond partnerships or beyond brands, beyond sponsorship, which people can achieve on esports.live.
Perfect. That's a solid take. If everyone eats, the ecosystem thrives, right?
Yeah.
So love that mindset. So what is the hardest truth about esports that you wish more founders should say out loud but don't? Because they might be making mistakes when developing their first MVP or taking their idea to implementation of building that. What is that one thing you want the most founders should know?
Know their community well, know the actual pain point. Like, as Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, you need to be customer obsessed. If you are focused on competition, you will find competition. If you are focused on customers, you will find a lot of opportunities to grow. You won't,
No, no.
you are not bothered about competition then if you are customer obsessed.
That's kind of like quite a killer point that too many founders build for investors, but not the players bleeding many hours in games, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
that is just something they need to also look into it before
So that's a
developing their
learning from
first
my
MVP.
previous venture. So somebody will say, okay, Parshavv, build this, then we will evaluate your startup, build this. But ultimately, all those pointers which they were giving was from their shallow mindset, and only which they don't know where the company will go, because they never had that intention to invest. If they want, they could have invested and then say, okay, Pasha, why don't you build this? Why don't you build this? This is the roadmap which we see. This is the, because somebody, they also got some feedback from an experienced esports person or a gaming person. It was just like random, like a MBA analyst who was sitting in the investor chair evaluating my startup. That was like a bit surprising and shocking.
That's quite classic, like, because this X thing gets advice from people who never actually
Like
build
never.
anything or shipped
People,
anything.
yeah, people should take advice who have done that. And again, people who have done that, they also have a very restrictive mindset. For example, if I'm talking about esports, wherever, they have a mindset only, okay, like esports means sponsorship, branding, that's it. Like they don't think beyond what could be the alternative, because everybody cannot make to Hollywood or Bollywood, correct? There has to be some theaters as well, some different, or maybe in cricket, IPL is not the only thing, correct? Like even like there are players who are playing Ranji. How do you give an opportunity to them as well?
Exactly, because people box esports into get sponsors, get famous, like that is the only skill, but that is much more beyond that as well.
Yeah.
So, what is that untapped lane in esports you think no one is paying attention to right now, but that could be become the next $1 billion opportunity in esports?
So I believe betting, which is already been available in the tier one matches, it should open up for tier two as well. And obviously, game publishers can do authenticity of the platform. There are anti-cheat rules, responsible gaming rules should be there. Definitely, all those things are there, but it should open up for more opportunities. Like Riot Games, they said like only on their two games there was $10 billion worth of recorded betting that had happened. So if $10 billion worth of betting only on two games had happened, which is like recorded, I'm sure like equivalent amount is there in the unorganized market as well.
That's very interesting, because basically betting beyond just the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
Giving small tournaments also the real stakes as well. That definitely can change the game,
Yeah,
right?
and if the money is going back again, invested back in the community, what's the harm? If the platform is fair, which is being validated, audited by third parties, if it is like a ISO certified, like why not? There should be an opportunity. If they have a valid licenses, regulated entities, why not? Like, what's the harm?
Totally. If that money cycles back into players and organizer, it's not just a gambling. It's a growth fuel for people who are entertainment as well and willing to work for that. So do you also play games often or no?
I don't play, to be honest. Like a lot of people ask me, Pasha, if you're not a gamer, how can you build a gaming company? I said, fine. If I'm not a doctor, so nobody should build a hospital. Then only doctors should build a hospital. It's not the thing. If it is a mechanic, so it's a mechanic, correct? Like if it is a gamer, so I have a gamer mindset. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business mindset.
That's quite right, because you don't need to be a doctor to build a hospital. That might be the quote for the episode. So definitely, if you're not a gamer yourself, that's okay. But what is your process of staying close to that gamer community and that really understand what they need day to day?
Yeah, see, definitely. So that this is a totally different. So I need to be a customer executive. That's what I am. As a customer obsessed, players, teams, organizers, they keep coming. I'm part of the all support team channels on Telegram, Discord. So I keep an eye. What's the challenge? What's the progress? What's the ask from the community? How are they? What's they are looking for? Like for example, we had USDC and USDT. People can participate. Now we felt a challenge that the countries like in India or in Indonesia, so the minimum, for example, this company can do a off ramp and on ramp for $10. Now $10 is like almost like $900 in India in
Yes.
INR. So, however, in India, people are playing with maybe $50, ₹100. 900 is a big amount for these kids. So that's the challenge which we saw in the growth. Okay, then we introduced Stripe on our platform. So that's now taking care of micropayments as well.
That's like actually very smart, because being in the trenches on Discord and Telegram is the way better than on the focus group, right? Because that's where the community lies, in the gaming community,
Yeah.
right? And what is that most surprising insight or feature request you get it from that gamer community chats that has completely changed your product roadmap?
As I mentioned, introducing fiat currencies was a big. I never thought like I wanted to keep this entirely on USDT because of
Yes.
fast processing payment, getting global exposure, inter-country tournaments can be played. That was my always the vision. But yeah, obviously I can't serve everybody with that, and there was a ask from the players community, gaming community. We were losing out on the users. I said, okay, let's introduce the fiat as well.
That's very great example, because like real grassroots insight turning into a product shift, right? Because that was a key what
Yeah.
gamers were looking for. And when you made that change to support fiat and micro payments, right? What it will unlock for the users that crypto alone couldn't do it.
As I mentioned, because all these blockchains and Web3 networks, so there is a gas fee. So it can sustain only like a large volume transaction, not micro payment. So that's a challenge with that Web3 industry. But on the other side, if you are transferring funds, it can do a instant settlement, which fiat or banking will take maybe 5 days. For example, I did a transfer to a tournament operator or a players who won the match in Indonesia. So it took five working days, and obviously the bank charges was much more than what was there in in USDT. So obviously, so that's an instant payment, and this is 5 days. So people take their conscious call, whatever they want to use.
Perfect. No, that's exactly because Web3 speed is unmatched, but those gas make it rich man games for now, right?
Yeah, but that's how the business or the technology has built. There will be a gas fee. It's maybe for Western world, it's just like few cents, few dollars. But for emerging market, for countries, like it's a big money.
If you have to bet on that one thing, what is that breakthrough technology or the regulation that could make that Web3 payment very practical for micro sports in esports to implement for other players as well?
I believe that's as I mentioned, industry challenges are there, a technological challenge. So obviously we need to obtain licenses to stay and to expand globally. So that's regulatory clearances are obviously the first priority.
Perfect. And one last question for this podcast: a book or a creator you would recommend to the grinders listening right now in esports or any other thing if they're building right now as a founder?
They are already listening to me.
That is incredible. Honestly, one of the most eye-opening conversation I heard about esports, Web3, and what it actually takes to build in this space. Before we wrap up, tell everyone listening where they should go if the player wants to compete, an organizer who wants to run a clean tournament with instant payout, or a partner who wants to get involved. So what's the path? I will make sure all the links are in the show notes to everyone listening. If you got a value from this podcast, here is I want you to do. Share it with one person, one founder, one gamer, or one person who is thinking to make a leap but doesn't know. Send them this episode. Leave us a review. If it sounds small, we can reach more people who need this raw, real, and unfiltered conversation. And if you're building something, if you're in the trenches, or if you've failed before, and if you're thinking about going it again and again, DM me. Seriously, I want to hear your story. Maybe you will be on this podcast next. Parshavv, thank you for being so honest, so transparent, and for sharing not just the win, but the struggles in the industry. This is what the Breakout podcast is all about. So keep everyone listening, keep building, keep learning, and keep failing forward. This is Breakout. I'm Darshil Khunt. We will see you next time with next episode.
Thank you very much.